The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Whether you're new to sales or a lifetime veteran, the Blackbelt Sales Podcast will sharpen your sword and guide you to master the art of sales. And now, here's your host, the ninja himself, Gene Slade.
Hey, welcome back to this episode of the Blackbelt Sales Podcast. Super grateful that you're all able to join us today. And Don, I'm grateful that you're able to be here by way of Dallas.
Yes.
Where in Dallas do they have beautiful lakes like that? That's what I want to know. What are you doing out in Dallas, man?
Yeah, the sunsets are beautiful everywhere, but that happens to be the sunset from like 2 days ago from my house there in Alabama. That's
your backyard.
A picture off the screen porch that took. You can kind of the screen, and you can see the structure and the things in the background. But beautiful colors that are happening this time of year. In a lot of places, but man, they're nice there at the lake house. So anyone is in Alabama wants to come visit, see these sunsets, just let me know. Let's get together. So
west facing, right? Ours is west facing as well, and we get those beautiful sunsets too.
Yeah, I face kind of northwest, so the sunsets are beautiful the more in the summer, and then again in the wintertime, the way it shifts, then they kind of disappear through the trees a little bit more. But it's a beautiful sunset this time of year. Beautiful.
So Don, our topic today is how tone and inflection changes the entire game, right? And if you're just tuning in, I'm going to do this again for you real quick. I didn't say he beat his wife. 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 Now, what happened there? What changed? Have you ever heard that it's not what you said, it's how you
say it? I've heard that. Heard that yesterday on a conversation. It was very funny. It was one of those situations where I may have said something the wrong way, and it's not what you said, it's how you said it that hit. So I laugh about that when you say that, when you just said that. So yes, it's a lot about that. And the meaning of every one of those phrases kind of shifted a little bit. Exact same words. We can take our scripts and throw them out to every heating and air company in your town, and they will not be able to implement them like you or people on this podcast, because it's all about putting it together with this tone and inflection. It can change the meaning. It can change the pushiness, or all of those items can come across through your tone and inflection. But that's a famous, I guess, Zig Ziglar line, I guess, right. Back in the day. He was famous in the 80s. I remember being a kid riding around in my dad's 78 El Camino work truck. That was his work vehicle in El Camino as a manager back then. And had Zig Ziglar cassette tapes on the front seat, on the seat of the car, listening to those things. So takes me back when you do that. But every one of those just shifted the meaning a little bit, and maybe even a lot. But it's the tone and inflection that really takes sales to the next level. Don, empathy.
It makes me think of something that I heard a long time ago from a mentor, and that was that every word that comes out of your mouth is nothing more than an opportunity to mess it up. And he always stressed having a pre-planned presentation, knowing what you're going to say about a roof when you go out there, knowing what you're going to say about a water heater or an air quality system, having it pre-planned so that not only do you have that memorized, but you also get the opportunity to perfect the tone and the inflection that you deliver it with so that it carries the right meaning, right? Don's talking about how it meant different things each and every time. yeah, if you're watching this live, please put live down in the comments. If you're watching on a replay, please put replay. I'm not going to explain why. You guys know, you're smart enough. But Don's talking about how it changes the meaning of what we're saying. Wouldn't you like to be in control of what your clients are making things mean? And can you see the danger that you're in if you don't have a pre-planned presentation and you're making up the tone and inflection?
Well, you can't concentrate on but so many things at a time.
Did I click out?
You skip for a second, so I didn't know if it was me, but you can't concentrate on 10 items at once, 2 items at once. Most of us, if we want to concentrate on our tone and inflection, we have to have the words kind of memorized or set or on autopilot so that we can concentrate on how we're saying things.
The delivery.
And if you're trying to focus on the delivery but you don't know what to say, you're going to kind of almost go into overload, and you're going to just default to the old what you've always done, and you're going to okie dokie close it and walk away with nothing. That's what we call the okie dokie. When they say, let me think about it, and you go okie dokie and you leave. You're not making any money on the okie dokie close today. Okie dokie is I had a tech, funny, Chase Cook. I'll throw that out to him. Hopefully he listens to
I remember
it.
Chase. Chase is very successful.
He is. I'm very proud of very proud of him. And Chase was funny because I said, what happened on that call? We were kind of unpacking it, and he said, I okie dokie closed it. I'm just going to admit it to you. I just said okie dokie and left. I said, well, at least we know what the problem was. We don't have to really go any further than that. We didn't even try. So tone, if you want to take your sales to the next level, tone and inflection is the next level. That is what it's going to take. That's what it's all about. I guess
that's the difference between somebody that's not going to make it in a communications or sales role and somebody who's going to really succeed. And Don, we're talking about this pre-planned presentation, but are we talking about vomiting on people? Are we talking about just giving them a bunch of information about the products that we offer?
No, that is certainly not what the process is. I have to have my information in my head so I have the confidence. So when I start down the path, I know what to talk about. I'm not worried about what am I going to say next. Then I can put my pauses, my emphasis, my tone, my relaxing, all into those conversations, and it just changes how it's perceived. Whispering is one of the easy ones to put in there. We think we have to talk louder so you'll hear us. And the reality is, if we talk quieter, people listen better because you're talking quiet. But if you talk all loud or all quiet, you're now monotone. It doesn't even matter if it's one or the other. You've got to swap. We're in the heating and air. Obviously, we train lots of plumbers, lots of electricians, lots of roofers. We came back from, we came through this in obviously in the air conditioning business. In air conditioning business, we talk about delta T, right? The temperature difference. What you guys? Well, we're going to talk about it's delta T again, but it's delta tonality. That's what that really should mean in sales. I have to have times that I pause. I have to have times that I get excited, and I have to have times I calm down. I got to have a difference in my tone, or else you are now monotone. And monotone, it doesn't matter what level it is, it just disappears through one ear and out the other. That's about the way I'd like to say that. Monotone just goes right through and one ear and out the other, and never heard.
I've got a question for the audience. If you had to guess, what percentage of your communication is the words that you speak, and what percentage is your body language, tone, and inflection? Just put a percentage of what you feel your body language, tone, and inflection, how that impacts communication. And we'll share with you here in just a minute what the right answers are. There's no right, there's no wrong. There's just what's so, right? What people have recorded, right? But put it down as a percentage. I want to see those come up in the comments real quick. What percentage of your communication do you think is body language, tone, and inflection? And while you're thinking about that, or while you're contemplating that, if it is a high number, how much time have you spent on perfecting the tone and the inflection in your presentations? Or are you just winging it? And if you are winging it, consider that you might want to get some professional training, some professional help. Look, and don't make that a bad thing. You there are two types of people in this world, okay? There's a type of people that go it alone, right? And that's hard, and it's difficult to pave your own highways, right?
Right.
And then there are the people that find the dude that built the road that goes from where they want to, where they're at to where they want to be. They pay a toll and they compress time. They take what would have otherwise taken 30 years, a lifetime professionally, and they'll condense that into 6 months or 3 months or a year. And that's what money is for, okay?
Right.
Money replenishes, y'all. Time does not. So consider that if you don't have the things in place that we're sharing with you, that you're missing out on a very valuable piece of this game called life. And that's being happy and getting to experience some of the things that maybe you dreamed about as a kid that maybe you've given up on at this stage of the game. I'm here to tell you that stuff's still available for you, but you have to ask for help. One of my favorite speakers, Les Brown, always quotes him. And I don't remember who he quoted, but Les Brown said that no man or woman is an island. He said, we ask for help not because we're weak, but because we want to remain strong. So ask for help and don't stop until you get it. And in a minute or two, I'll probably play a promotion for you of one of the new events that we've got coming up where you could get that help if you want. But just listen, don't be prideful. Don't try to go it alone. It's hard. You're going to get brutalized. You're going to get beat up. There's no sense in you getting your teeth kicked in when the path is already there and all you've got to do is pay a toll, right? And we will not let money get in the way of you succeeding, all right? Don, what were you going to say? I know you're like dying while I'm on.
Oh yeah. Sorry that you mentioned that. The faster path. You have the rights in this world, which I'm proud to say, to do it however you want. If you're going to go on a trip, you can choose to go on every 2-lane road there is to get where you want to go. It might take you many times the hours. I actually did a trip. I'm trying to slow down in my life a little bit. And I went from Alabama to Orlando and didn't get on a single interstate. It took an 8-hour trip and turned it into 18
How'd you charge
hours.
that damn Tesla?
Well, it was a lot of fun. I will say I found every off the beaten path place I could go, but it took about 18 hours. I didn't get on the single interstate. That was a choice I made in my life that I'm okay with it taking a little more.
Yeah.
And if you're in a place in life that says I'm okay with taking 18 years to accomplish what other people did in 8 months or 8 years or 8 weeks, that's okay. That's your choice. I'm just saying that I think we're saying from a career standpoint, let's take the interstate, let's take this pre-path that has been built, and let's get to your success. Then you can slow down and take all the time you want to enjoy life. So, why was our interstate system really invented, right? It was convenience or whatever. Really, the whole interstate system comes from, we call it interstate, but let's just say it was really more of an invention of Germany in World War II, the Autobahn, right? Why was it invented? It was really to design so that Germany could move their military quickly to defend their nation. That was what it was originally thought. So they figured a path on how they could get their military there the quickest, and that was what created the Autobahn. And again, we're not necessarily saying that anything about World War II was anything that we want to endorse, but they were smart about this, and our interstate system was developed to allow quick, easy movement. Right now, if there's a a disaster in a part of our country, with an interstate system, we can get help there within hours. We can get people there with our road system. So that's the same thing with the sales, this training and the process. You can go out and invent your own new roads and take 30 years of your career to develop this whole new road. And you know what? You can be proud of yourself for doing it. Or you can find this road. You can look up this map of the interstate system, the Lead Ninja way to success, and follow this map. We call it a certification process. I think it's like 5 levels, and you just follow the map. And you sit there, and I was so proud of Eric this morning. I love Eric Pro in our group, his certification. He just kind of laughed and said, now when customers hit him with a objection, he's like, "Is that all you got? Come on now, let's make this let's make this a fight." He was like, "Is that all you got?" And then they just buy.
Objection. Objection.
Yeah. It was quite enjoyable. Very proud. Eric did all the hard work. I got to sit on the sidelines and just watch his success. I want to throw that out to him, how incredible, successful, incredible hard work he put in to create that success. And he's got that confidence. Every day he goes to work, he just goes in there with confidence because he knows he's prepared for the 99%.
Homeless, living in his car with his wife, to 6 figures in the bank. And I'll tell you what he said in training this morning. He was like, I was at this couple's house. They gave me an objection. I handled the objection using the Lead Ninja system. They gave me another one. I handled that one. And then they decided to buy. And he said, I'm thinking in my head, man, we're only 2 rounds in. I'm ready for 10 rounds. Could you please put up a little bit more of a fight?
Yeah.
Right? Guys, this sounds like it sounds too good to be true. Right, Don? It sounds too good to be true. But is it possible that with all of the technologies out there, that we actually have figured out how human beings operate and what patterns they actually go in on different types of situations, and that is it possible that we could have created, based on science and psychology, exactly what the client needs to hear and exactly how they need it delivered? Is it possible that exists in today's world? Come on.
We have it.
Guys,
realistically, I don't know that we needed the AI computers of today to create it, because we're human.
We didn't.
And we did. Yeah, we have the this process, and it just works so well. I'm excited for all the guys that are in the Lead Ninja Mastermind that follow up with us. I'm excited about it. And again, we're talking about tone and inflection with these guys this morning. That is the huge thing. There's tone and inflection. I tend to say, as the first step of tone and inflection is slowing down and then working in pausing. Those are the first 2 that you can implement today.
That's super important, but I don't want to give it away yet. I definitely want you to talk about that. I've got a 60-second video for you guys, but before I send you to that video, the trivia question this morning is, what percentage of our communication, our conversations, what percentage is body language, tone, and inflection all together? And then what percentage would be the spoken word, right? So body language, tone, and inflection, what percentage is that? I'm going to give you the answer when we come back, and we're going to give you a couple of more tips about how you can make your tone and inflection work for you instead of work against you. Check this out real quick.
If somebody was hesitant about coming to the Lead Ninja Mastermind, I'll tell them this: you can't afford not to go. It's going to change your life, but not only your life, your family's life.
You don't have to wait a year to start making the kind of money that you want to make. Corbin came out of here and within 30 days went from $250,000 to $500,000 in sales. So it doesn't take long as you put in the work.
difference between others and this one's a lot more direct and a lot more informative in certain areas to help you overcome certain obstacles, where the other ones are just kind of broad for everybody. Last month, my total revenue for the month was only $5,200. We still have about 10 days left of the month, and I'm already at $13,500.
Yes, I have scripted out for you word for word exactly how to tell them about the money.
If you're struggling to get to that next level, this is the class that you need to be in.
Man, I'm taking notes on that video for things that I want to throw into that. I've got some great ideas now, some really good ideas. All right, so
there's
Darren
right there from the video. Yeah. Exciting. I was going to say the follow-up to that on his is he went from 5, he said 13, and he still had a month left. I think he ended in the 20s. The next month he did like 82 or 85,000.
Might have been 88. So Darren, post your numbers for us real quick in the comments. And what's your average ticket now, your closing ratio, and your gross revenue? Give us, a time frame that you want to give us. Right. Darren was part of I almost said the name. He was part of an on-site that we did out in Louisiana, and ended up joining the Lead Ninja Mastermind after coming to a mansion event right after that. And man, talk about life-changing stuff has been happening for Darren. I'm so proud of you, buddy, out there. I'm so glad to see that bank account's got a bunch of money in it and that you're able to take care of your family in ways that you never were able to take care of before. Congratulations on you doing the work. It's all you, buddy.
Yeah, he did a great job, and it's his to tell that story, but to come for the event, and if you've ever been to that point where there's more month left than there is money left, that was probably a good analogy for him, and I think he even said that one paycheck of the month paid all his bills for the month, where in past months it was taking 5 or 6 paychecks to pay 4 weeks worth of bills. Yeah. So 1 week to pay his bills for the month puts you in a situation where you can control your own destiny. So I'm proud of him. He put up some percentages. He said 80%. There's probably some other comments, or keep putting the comments up there. But what is the percentage, Gene? Or what do you think?
It depends on the study, but depending on the study, it's somewhere between 85 to 92% of our communication is body language, tone, and inflection. So think about that next time you're sending somebody a text. Text is a great thing, but be careful what you say in a text.
You cannot use text loses tonality. Text loses sarcasm. Right? I'm not a big sarcasm person. There's a couple of places that you can utilize it in your sales process. However, my biggest thing is remove sarcasm from your business life, your sales life, your career, and it just changes things. Because realize sarcasm is in the interpretation from the other side. I want to control how people perceive things we say, or I want to have my best shot at getting them to understand. And sarcasm can be their own interpretation of it. So be careful with text. Since you mentioned that, you might be better off nowadays to do a video and text it to someone than you are to just type in words, because the tone and inflection does not go across. Even if you're an emoji person, an emoji king, I'm not, but even if you're great at those emojis, they don't quite carry the same as tone and inflection too. So what are some? Yep. So I've heard those studies. I would have guessed 93%, 7% of the words. I've heard that study from many years ago. Again, no matter how you look at it, it's the majority, and it's not just a close majority. It's the vast majority is how we say things. And that's how that famous Zig Ziglar line. Think about those lines about talking about tone inflections were back in the 1980s. Wow. And right? if 40 years ago, he had this stuff.
If you want to guarantee that somebody actually sees your follow-up, do what Don said and send them a video text message. Just put your phone up talk into the video, and send it. And here's the rule. You ready? First take. You get one take. It doesn't matter if you mess up, you fumble, bumble your words. It's real. It's human. Okay. Plus, if you don't just do the first take, you'll never send the video. You'll do 6 or 7 videos, and then somebody will call you or text you. You'll get distracted, and you won't do it. All right. So that's the rule. Don, let's get a little bit more granular before we take off. And then, guys, if you want to get the full ball of wax, if you want everything we've ever taught, you can get that at one of our mansion events, or you can get that through some of our virtual trainings. So if you want to know more about the mansion, put mansion in the comments. If you want to know more about just training in general, go ahead and put training in the comments. And until the end of the month, I'm actually doing 30-minute sessions with owners where you can tell me what you're dealing with, and I'll give you a couple of free tips, some free advice on how to go back and change the game instantly for your business. August of last year to February this year, he did 112. From March 1st until this year, until today, he's done 197. So conversion rate from 28% up to 58%. That's massive.
Yeah, I love that.
And he's just getting started.
28% to 58% is incredible. And because of the time frames we're talking about there, the numbers look a little skewed. But you're talking about August through February.
August, September, October, November, December, January to February. So that's 6 months.
Okay.
And then March, April, May, 3
months.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So put it on the same scale. 3 months, he would have gone from 56, call it, to 197, 4 times the revenue through this same comparison. I would take a 4X with just quickly.
If you could send one of your
3 months
technicians out to us and we send it back with 4X revenue, you wouldn't be disappointed, would you?
In 3 months of you were, and part of it is he was learning the process through that 3 months. That's not necessarily the 3 months after he perfected it. He was still learning. He was still working.
He's still learning
the process for it. And we all continue to learn. I'm continuing to learn. I understand the sales process today better than I did. And it's because I attend our Tuesday, Thursday classes, mastermind, which, people can sign up for as well. I'm on there learning just like all the rest of the people. I led the class today and taught, but I'm still on there learning every day. Every week, every Tuesday, every Thursday, I'm learning something new when I'm on Gene's class. And I learn when I have to step up and actually answer a few questions or run a section of it. I'm learning as well. So I had a feeling you put me up on the spotlight this morning to run class for my own development, not for any other reason there. It looks like you needed me to, you're pushing me, and I appreciate it. So tone and inflection is huge. It's a big part of it. Again, I remember from this weekend, it's not what you say, it's how you say it. I think I said something like, this side of the boat needs to be clean. We were out on the boat, and when you first get the boat in, there's always little dirt, spider webs or something, where it was stored. And I just said, this side of the boat needs to be clean. And I got this look from my girlfriend like, and you expect me to do that? So I learned a lesson, paid for it with
to be opposed
a little bit. Yeah. A little bit of my,
would it be too much?
I had to dig out of this hole before I could enjoy the rest of the day. So I say that laughingly. I'm still learning. I messed up on that myself. So
I stick my foot in my mouth all the time with my wife. All the freaking time. Thank God for the grace that she has for me.
Yeah,
we both joke and we say that
as well.
We both joke and we say that nobody on the planet could handle either one of us, so we're perfect for each other. Don, we were going to talk about pausing and things like that. Can you talk to me about utilizing pausing before we wrap this up? And guys, again, you can always get more. And if you're listening on one of the non-video podcasts like Apple or Spotify, my cell phone number, I'm going to give it to you right now. So grab yourself a pen or flip open the notes or whatever in your phone or a text message to yourself or something, or to your wife or whoever. The phone number, my cell is 239-848-6533. 239-848-6533. Okay. So just shoot me a text message and let me know that you want to have a meeting, or you need some help or whatever. Tons and tons of guys have done that and really benefited from it in a massive way. Don't be afraid of me. Don't be afraid of Don. We're here to help you. Okay. We're not unapproachable people. People come up, Don, when we go out to these public events, and sometimes I feel like, an industry celebrity because of the things that they say that they have achieved from following you or myself or the podcast. And guys, I just want you to know we are just regular people. Okay. We're way chiller than you think we are. So if you ever need anything, just reach out to us. We're always here to help. Might not be able to get back to you right away or right that minute, but we've got a team that will help schedule that kind of stuff for you. So
Sure.
Again, my cell number is 239-848-6533. Just shoot me a text. Don, what do you want to say about that?
Yeah, I appreciate when people mention that they've know me because of these podcasts or been on things, but it certainly makes me feel really good when they said, there's some great information that we give. I get that some of these, we're kind of promoting our services or promoting the next mansion event because we know it's going to make a difference to people. But we want to bring you some little nuggets every time we do this. We strive to do that, whether you get to judge whether they're nuggets of gold or nuggets of whatever.
Cool.
So but we strive for that. So, but it is incredibly just warming feeling when someone says, love that, appreciate that, I utilize that, I said that, I shared it with someone else. My coworker and I will have communication back and forth about the podcast and about the talk. It is really exciting. So, but pausing is one of the things I want you to work on today. Conversational etiquette in this world is when you pause, the client feels a little obligated to talk, right? That's just what kind of goes on in the real world. And high school English taught us that periods at the end of sentences, we pause, maybe even for a paragraph, commas in the sentences, right? But in conversational English, which again, I might have struggled in high school English. Many of you might have as well, but conversationally, we don't want to pause at the end of sentences unless it was a question that we really want an answer back from. And we will ask questions rhetorical questions, but we'll answer questions that we really don't need them to say the answer. We just need them to think the answer.
You mean we'll wait for them to answer questions that they don't need to answer?
There are times in which we want them to say the answer, but there's other times that we can just wait like a split second, a half a second, and continue with our conversation. And they answered it, but they didn't say it.
Yeah.
They answered it in their head. And that's all we really need for maybe 80-90% of the questions we ask. We don't need them to actually say the answer. But pausing too long, they feel obligated to start talking. Conversational etiquette is if you stop, I feel like I have to fill in the gap.
Because why?
So,
because people are uncomfortable with what?
Silence. Absolutely. Yeah. And I love what are salesmen's two best friends? Questions.
Silence and questions.
Questions and silence. So that's what we're talking about here. We want to control our questions, but we want to control the silence as well. And when we want it, we utilize it. And when we don't want them to run off on this tangent, the rabbit hole, chasing rabbits, we take the pauses away. First level of pause is pause in the middle of sentences, middle of thoughts, not at the end. That's how we really do have conversation in this world.
You just did it.
Yeah, pause in the middle, and people will give you more benefit of the doubt before they cut you off. You pause at the end of your sentence, they feel like they have to jump right in.
Yeah.
So part of our scripting, if I could say it here, is
Yeah, go ahead. And just a point of
clarification.
Hang on. Just to be clear, for those of you that are not as smart as some other people like me, like you're not, like I'm not one of the smartest cats in the world, right? What Don is really saying is that he will ask a client 3 questions in a row sometimes before he actually pauses long enough for them to respond, because he's asking them questions that he already knows how they're going to answer and that are almost rhetorical. And if you really want to become a master of it, you've got to get into our training. But go ahead and give them an example, Don.
I love this. This is the easy, it's part of our greetings, but as a point of clarification. And then you can pause in the middle of your thought to take control. And not pausing at the end of sentences, it feels like we're running them on a little bit. But as a point of clarification, I'm here to do a $252 total system rejuvenation for just $39.95. That means I'll be going over your air conditioner and your furnace with a fine-tooth comb. And when I'm done, I'll give you a full report. Now, should I find any deficiencies, and I'm not saying that I will, would you like for me to share those with you? Do you see how all the pauses were not at the end of the sentences? They were about 3 or 4 words into the next sentence. And then I would take a nice long pause. Control the situation.
Let me give them an example utilizing questions, because Don just gave it to you in speaking format, right? Sure. And we're always telling you to utilize it in questions. Let me prove to you that you can utilize this in a question. So in our surge protection script, and in many others, but in our surge protection script, we would say something like, did you know that we get over 1.2 million cloud to ground lightning strikes per year here? And that when that happens, we get in-home surges? And did you know that when we get an in-home surge, that your compressors and your motors can glow cherry red on the inside? Do you think that's good? How many? I just gave you 3 questions without the right pauses, without pauses that you would need in order to answer those questions. But I knew that you didn't know that. And I go right around the truth false filter. You're becoming enlightened. And you don't have to have them answer every question. Just like you don't have to answer every question the client asks you in order to make a sale. But that's a topic for a different conversation.
It is. I want you to try utilizing strategically utilizing your pauses. Eliminate the ones at the end of sentences. Use your pauses in the middle when you need to take a breath, or you need to kind of control, or even think about what you're going to say or how you're going to finish it up. Do that kind of as you've started the next item. It'll control the situation, whether they're questions, whether they're statements. We can get into those scripting as well. But when you're following the script, take out the periods, right? Take out the periods out of your mind and just run right into the next phrase and keep it going. You will notice that. I'll also do when I write scripts sometimes is I'll take the space out between words to tell me that I want to kind of run those together.
Yeah.
And I might put a little slash between words to help remind me that I want to overemphasize or over-enunciate. So if you want to overemphasize, enunciate is the English word, too many syllables for me, but when you want to emphasize that, just strategic, kind of hit each syllable a little bit harder, and you hear that. And when you want to slur it together, I take the letters out to remind myself that you can kind of run those together, kind of slur those together as one quick word.
I'm watching the clock here, Don, and we've went about 33% longer than we said we would go today. And I got to go on, and I got to get on a meeting. So thanks for being here with me today, Don. Thank you to all of the viewers and the followers for joining us. Hey, would you consider sharing this stream with one of your favorite groups, or maybe your company, or the technicians in the company, or maybe your boss? Do you think that anybody else other than you can benefit from this? Are you going to keep this all to yourself? Are you going to be stingy? That's not an abundance mentality, is it? So no, we would love it if you guys would share this with some other people. Help us to achieve our dreams as well of impacting millions and millions of people out there. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Blackbelt Sales Podcast. And if you are listening on Spotify or Apple, please go over and smash that 5-star review button for us. We appreciate you. We love you. We look forward to seeing you in the future. God bless you. Take care, ninjas.